Welcome back, everybody. Today, we're going to be looking at something a little different.
Yeah, a little bit out there.
The Abode White Mini Fridge A4CLR201W.
Okay.
You might be
A
thinking,
mini fridge.
yeah, why are we talking about a mini fridge? Well, this little guy is actually more interesting than it might seem at first glance.
It's got some quirks.
Yeah, it's got a kind of retro look. It can hold 6 cans. It can even warm things up.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to be diving into all the details, trying to figure out, is this thing worth it? You know, is it just a gimmick, or is it something that could be genuinely useful?
Especially, if you're thinking about dorm rooms or small spaces or maybe even like a cool way to store skincare.
Yeah, road trips too.
Right, exactly.
All sorts of possibilities.
Right.
So we're really going to get into the nitty-gritty.
Let's do it.
We've got some great source material to work with, and yeah, I think this is going to be a fun one.
Absolutely.
So one of the first things that jumps out about this mini fridge is the design.
Definitely. It's got that like retro white finish.
Yeah, the source material uses all these kind of interesting descriptions.
Like what?
They talk about smooth curves and a polished finish, almost like they're describing a vintage car,
Right.
not a fridge.
It's funny how they're trying to like lean into that nostalgia
Yeah.
while still offering modern functionality.
Right, exactly.
But, okay, let's get beyond the looks for a minute and actually talk about how this thing works.
Yeah.
It uses what's called thermoelectric technology,
Okay.
which is a little different from your typical fridge.
Yeah, when I hear thermoelectric technology, I kind of think,
Complicated.
yeah, a little bit intimidating.
Yeah, I get that. So basically, instead of using like bulky compressors and refrigerants like a normal fridge,
Okay.
this one uses something called the Peltier effect.
Hmm.
So what happens is you pass an electric current through certain materials, and it causes one side to heat up and the other side to cool down.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you get this temperature difference that you can use to either cool or warm the contents.
So that's how we can do both.
Exactly.
That's pretty neat.
Right.
So does that mean it can get, like, just as cold as a regular fridge?
Well, that's where it gets a little tricky. The source does say that it chilled drinks down effectively,
Okay.
even on a warm day. But it's important to remember that this type of cooling might not be as powerful as a traditional compressor fridge,
Okay.
especially in like really hot environments.
So maybe not the best choice if you're, like, out camping in the desert in the middle of summer.
Right, but on the other hand, this technology makes the fridge super compact
Yeah.
and energy efficient. So there's definitely a trade-off.
That makes sense. It's like anything else. There's always compromises.
Exactly.
Now, what about the warming function? Like, is that actually useful, or is it just kind of a gimmick?
Well, according to the source, it does provide like a gentle and consistent heat.
Okay.
They even suggest using it for things like certain skincare products
Oh, interesting.
that need a stable temperature.
So like a little warming drawer for your beauty routine.
Exactly. It speaks to that versatility
Yeah.
that they're going for with this appliance. They're not just targeting, the average soda drinker.
Right. It's more than just a place to keep your drinks cold.
Right.
Okay, so we've got this fridge that's compact, it's energy efficient, you can cool things down, it can warm things up. What about actually using it, though? Is it easy to use, or am I going to need an engineering degree to figure this thing out?
Well, from what the source says, it seems pretty straightforward. They mention a user-friendly control panel and like a clear LED display.
Okay, so no need to pull out the instruction manual every time you want to adjust the temperature.
Hopefully not.
And while we're on the topic of user experience, how loud is this thing?
Oh, yeah, that's important, especially if you're thinking about using it in a bedroom.
Right, like I don't want this thing humming away all night, keeping me awake.
Well, actually, the source actually praises it for being quiet. They specifically mention quiet operation even when it's working hard.
Okay, so that's a big plus. So far, so good. We've got a stylish mini fridge that's surprisingly versatile, easy to use, and quiet. But can it actually live up to the hype?
That's the big question, and that's what we're going to find out in the next part of our deep dive.
We'll be digging into its real-world performance and seeing if it can deliver on all its promises.
Let's do it.
Okay, so we've talked about all the features and the tech, but now I want to know, how does this thing actually perform? Like, does it live up to the hype?
Yeah, it's the real test, and luckily our source actually did some real-world tests.
Good.
So we've got some answers for you. They specifically mentioned that the cooling was impressive even on a warm day.
So it actually gets cold,
Yeah.
not just like lukewarm.
Right, like refreshingly cold, Perfect for a drink on a hot day.
Okay, that's what I want to hear. I can already picture myself coming home after a long day, reaching for a nice cold drink from my little mini fridge.
Exactly. And remember how we were talking about the noise level?
Yeah.
Well, they confirm that even when it's cooling down, it stays quiet.
Okay, so it's not going to sound like a jet engine taking off in your bedroom.
Nice and peaceful.
I like it. Now, what about that warming function? Does it actually work?
So the source says it provides a consistent, gentle warmth.
Okay.
Perfect for keeping things warm but not overheating them.
Hmm.
They even suggest using it for skincare products.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You know, things that benefit from a stable, slightly warm temperature.
That's actually a really good idea. I never would have thought to use a mini fridge to warm things up, but it makes sense.
Right.
Like a warm eye mask before bed sounds amazing.
Exactly. It just adds to the versatility.
Yeah.
And speaking of versatility, we have to talk about those dual power options again.
Right, the AC and DC.
The source really emphasized how much freedom that gives you.
Yeah, you can basically take this thing anywhere.
Pretty much unplug it from your bedroom, plug it into your car, and hit the road.
Perfect for a road trip.
Exactly. Or even just moving it between rooms.
Yeah, like from your bedroom to your office.
Exactly. It's designed to be portable.
So we've got stylish design, innovative technology, portability. What's not to love?
Well, no product is perfect, right?
True.
And the source is transparent about the limitations of this mini fridge.
Okay, like what?
Well, remember that thermoelectric technology we talked about?
Yeah, the Peltier effect?
Right. While it's efficient and compact, it's not as powerful as a compressor-based fridge.
Okay.
Especially in really hot environments.
So it's not going to replace my main fridge?
No, probably not. It's more of a supplementary appliance,
Right.
best suited for indoor use or moderate climates.
That makes sense.
And then there's the capacity. It's only about 4 liters,
Okay, that's not a ton of space.
which is about 6 standard cans.
So it's great for personal use,
Yeah, maybe a couple.
but not really for a whole family.
Right. The source really emphasizes, choosing the right tool for the job.
Yeah,
This is a great option for certain needs,
right.
but it's not a one-size-fits-all solution.
I appreciate that they're upfront about that. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of a new gadget
Definitely.
and forget to think about the limitations.
Exactly. Realistic expectations are key.
You know what's interesting, though? The source didn't actually include any user feedback.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I'd love to hear from people who are actually using this mini fridge in their everyday lives.
Yeah, me too. How does it hold up over time?
Or are there any quirks or, like, unexpected uses people have discovered?
Exactly. That's the kind of stuff that's really helpful.
Maybe that's something we can look into for a future deep dive.
Ooh, comparing user experiences with different mini fridges.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, I'm already making notes.
Okay, so we don't have any first-hand accounts for this specific model.
Right.
But based on everything we've learned so far, what stands out to you about the Abode White mini fridge?
You know what strikes me is that it seems like they're really trying to cater to a specific type of user, someone who values aesthetics and convenience over raw cooling power.
I see what you mean. It's like this mini fridge is for someone who appreciates a curated lifestyle. Like they want their appliances to look good and fit seamlessly into their space.
Right. It's not just about functionality.
Yeah, it's about the whole experience.
Exactly.
And I think that speaks to a larger trend, too.
Oh, absolutely.
People are looking for appliances that are multifunctional and space-saving.
Right.
Things that fit into their busy lives and their smaller living spaces.
It's all about finding solutions for a fast-paced world.
Exactly. And the Abode White mini fridge is a perfect example of that.
It really is.
It makes you think, though, are we just buying into clever marketing? Or are we genuinely embracing solutions that make our lives better?
That's a great question, and I think it's something we all need to consider.
Yeah, as consumers, it's important to be aware of these trends and make informed decisions.
Absolutely. Are these products actually improving our lives?
Right, or are they just creating new needs that we didn't have before?
It's a fine line.
It is, but I think it's all about finding that balance.
Yeah.
We want to be open to innovation and embrace products that genuinely make our lives better.
Of course.
But we also need to be mindful of our consumption habits.
Right, and the impact we have on the world around us.
I think this deep dive has been a great example of that.
Yeah, we've really dug into the details.
We've explored the features, we've analyzed the performance.
And we've even talked about the bigger picture.
Exactly, and hopefully we've given you some food for thought.
Maybe this mini fridge with all its quirks and features has changed your perspective a little bit.
Yeah, or spark some ideas for how you could use a mini fridge in your own life.
Ultimately, that's what we're all about here.
Inspiring curiosity, critical thinking, a sense of wonder.
Exactly. There's always something new to learn and discover.
So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay.
Could this mini fridge, in its own small way, actually change your daily routine or enhance your life?
That's a great question.
And in the final part of our deep dive, we're going to take a step back
Okay.
and explore some even bigger questions.
Oh, I like it.
We'll be examining the cultural implications of this mini fridge and what it tells us about our relationship with technology and convenience. So we've covered a lot of ground with this mini fridge. We've talked about the design, the features, the performance. But now I want to kind of zoom out a little bit.
Yeah, take a step back.
And think about the bigger picture.
Okay, I like it.
Because this mini fridge is more than just a mini fridge.
Right. It's kind of a reflection of larger trends and cultural shifts.
Exactly. It's not just a random appliance. It's like a piece of a puzzle.
A puzzle of?
like a puzzle of our modern lives, you know?
Okay, I see what you mean. So how do you see this mini fridge fitting into that puzzle?
Well, I think it's really interesting how it's marketed.
Yeah, like super versatile, portable, stylish. It's all about convenience and personalization.
Yeah, exactly. And it seems like that on-demand mentality,
Oh, yeah.
it's everywhere these days.
It's like we want everything tailored to our specific needs and available right when we want it.
Exactly. And this mini fridge, it's kind of tapping into that.
It's not just about keeping things cold anymore. It's about having a product that reflects your personal style and enhances your daily routine.
Do you think that's like a genuine cultural shift or just clever marketing?
That's a good question. I mean, the popularity of these multifunctional space-saving appliances, it does suggest that our needs and priorities are changing.
Yeah, people are living in smaller spaces, leading busier lives,
Right.
and they need products that can adapt to that.
And it's not just appliances either.
Right. It's everything.
Streaming services, ride-sharing apps, it's all about customized solutions for a fast-paced world.
Okay, so we've got all these customized solutions, all this convenience, but is it actually making our lives better?
Good question. I think it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of new gadgets and trends.
Yeah,
But it's important to step back and ask ourselves, are these things truly enhancing our lives?
right. Or are they just creating new needs that we didn't have before?
And I think the answer is probably a little bit of both.
Yeah, it's about finding that balance,
Right.
being open to innovation, but also being mindful of our consumption habits.
Absolutely.
And I think this deep dive has really highlighted that.
Yeah, we've gone from the nitty-gritty detail
The specs, the
to the
features,
bigger picture.
the cultural implication.
And hopefully we've given our listeners some things to think about.
Yeah, maybe this mini fridge, with all its quirks and features, it's made you question some assumptions.
Right, like what is a fridge, really?
Exactly. Or maybe it's sparked an idea for how you could end a mini fridge in a totally unique way.
That's what we love to see.
So as we wrap up this exploration of the Abode White mini fridge, I want to leave you with one final question.
Okay, shoot.
Could this mini fridge, in its own small way, actually change your daily routine or enhance your life?
The answer, as always, is up to you.
That's all the time we have for today's deep dive. Thanks for joining us on this journey of discovery. And until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.